Greg Carr. I gotta watch that show a little later. Please tune in on YouTube to Dr. Greg Carr and the great sister Karen Hunter in class with Carr. I missed it this week, but just like my show, there's no such thing as missing it. You just didn't watch it live or listen live. We do a lot of pontificating and chest beating, talking about what's going on now as if things haven't been going on for the last 157 years. People stood up 157 years ago, 200 years ago, 250 years ago, but they don't get the acknowledgement. So going forward, I'm going to do my very best to acknowledge our ancestors on this show every Saturday, to let them know that we haven't forgotten what they've done, the sacrifices that they made, and moving forward, you will get a African history lesson every Saturday at the top of my show, as well as something in regards to health and wellness as well. It's just something I feel is necessary. We do a lot of speaking about things, but we don't ever acknowledge each other. And going forward, I hope like hell that we can continue to acknowledge the greatness that's behind us. Because to happy heavenly birthday and respects to Marcus Messiah Garvey. That was Monday, but the reason I'm acknowledging his birthday today is because, as he stated, what an African has done, African can do. We faced a lot of tyranny. We faced a lot of disrespect in this country. And what I'm going to do is let you guys know that there isn't a bleak situation, and as difficult as it seems now, the people that preceded us had it 10 or maybe even 100 times more difficult than we have it now. So if we can look at our past, draw from the greatness of our past and our ancestors, walking through this wilderness called the United States of America and North America will be a cakewalk compared to what our ancestors had to endure. So big ups to our ancestors, big ups to Marcus Messiah Garvey, and most important, big ups to you for receiving this information from me and hopefully disseminating it to your friends and family and empowering them. Now, as I move on with the show, another ancestor has been excuse me, I apologize to be disrespectful. Our sister, our living elder, our sister, Miss Louise Lucas, age 76 years old, was arrested Monday. And the reason she was arrested Monday is because she has been doing her work in the community for the vast majority of her life. She's a state senator in state of Virginia, and she was arrested because she was seen at a protest that later on resulted in the taking down of a Confederate statue. Allegedly, because the reason I'm saying allegedly, because I don't believe it goes down like that. The district attorney and the sheriff did not want to issue these warrants, yet and still our elder was arrested. Anytime you are stepping up in this community for our community, in this country for our community, you will be met with tyranny. You will be met with disrespect, and what we're going to have to do is bring a halt to that. I personally had a very long and very fruitful conversation with one of my good brothers, Drastic, today. I'm not going to use his government name. Maybe he don't want his name out there. But and we were talking about this, man. And you know, the good brother is exactly where I was a year ago with the non-voting thing. So I understand exactly where he was, and hopefully I pushed him in the right direction, like our good brother Jungle Brother did with me. This is an insanely intelligent brother, so he's a dude who's always trying to do better in the community. So whether he votes or not, especially being where he's from, I know he's a brother that's always looking to employ, empower, and inform people. So I'm not going to really press him on the voting situation, but I'm not going to lie and say I don't want him to change his mind. That's just the bottom line. But as we were talking about our ancestors, and our elders, and how they've bust their behinds and they've broken their backs to step up and do what's right for me and you, so we can have fruitful lives. I do believe that, as the good brother Jungle Brother convinced me, that we must become politically active. this constant complaining, this constant finger pointing, this constant acknowledging of issues instead of attacking said issues and putting us in a better situation has to stop. I don't give a damn going forward what your complaints are. See, because when you complain about something, in my personal opinion, the only reason you should be complaining about said thing is if you're working towards a solution. I can complain, hey, this, that, and the third isn't right. But if I'm not saying, see, we need to get together and do this, I wish I knew someone who could assist me doing this, then I'm just, as we say in Chicago, bumping my gums. You know what I mean? Enough of the rhetoric about what should happen, what could happen, what may happen, and what's likely to happen. I'm tired of that. You know what I mean? That's not getting us anywhere. So I implore you as a listener to my podcast, as a person, as an African, or an assistant to an African. Enough with the complaining. It's time for some action. And I'm gonna need you to stop the backbiting, the tattling, the stirring of the pot, because this is exactly what the opposers of the African community, internationally as well as here in the United States of America, has set the table for us to do. I'm not asking anyone to like anyone. I'm going to say that again. I'm not asking anyone who will hear this in the future or currently hearing this. I'm not asking you to like anyone. I'm asking you to identify that allies are temporary. Issues are permanent. And if you're working towards obtaining a goal and defeating those issues, we have to work together to get that taken care of. Otherwise, we are wasting your time, my time, and you're in the way. So with that said, I want to talk about this. What in the hell gives a person the right to issue a warrant for the arrest of one of our elders? And it shows you the lack of respect they have for our sister. And we are going to have to organize. We're going to have to stand up and say, hey, enough. Either that or be prepared to be trampled on. See, it's easy to stand around and say what could be and what wouldn't be, and these politicians and yada, yada, yada. It's your job. It is your duty. It is your calling to stand up and find someone, either get behind someone or be the person who does it. Do you know how many elected officials have come out of Ferguson, Missouri since the senseless murder of our young brother Mike Brown? Do y'all understand that? Literally dozens of those people who said enough of this crying and complaining, they have stood up and become the beacon of light that they should be. If you don't know these things, get behind a group of people who do. Become organized. They are not doing this. Well, if you have the energy to complain about what someone else isn't doing, I'm going to assume you do have the energy to do it. And if you don't have the energy to do it, then I'm going to need you to shut up and get behind somebody who does. Enough of the complaining, enough of the reminiscing about back in the day, enough of the critiquing. Louis Farrakhan is not this. Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton is not that. Whether they are not what you expected them to be, I know one thing. They've done more than most people that exist on the face of the earth. Am I telling you that I am a staunch supporter of Jesse Jackson? Yes, I am. Am I telling you that I agree with everything he's done? No, I'm not. But you don't have to agree with everything. You don't have to agree with everything that I'm saying in order to get the message that I'm saying. You can debate me, and what is that going to do? But at the end of the day, are we working towards the liberation of all Africans on the continent of North America, South America, Asia, Europe, and Africa, and any of the places in between? Yes, that's what we're doing. So We can get into a debate about this is what we're going to do and see this is what's wrong. Or you could get behind somebody like, since we're talking about the state of Virginia, I think he's the governor, Terry McAfee. This is a guy, and just to let you know, there are no boundaries to assistance with your liberation. This is a man who's an elected official who restored voter rights for over 250 Africans in the United States of America. Over 250,000, Africans. The state and the legislature sued him because they said, you can't just do that. You have to individually do it. So this is a man, again, an elected official that's running a state that had 250,000 forms filled out, and all 250,000 of those people who had served their time as people who had broke the law and individually reinstated their voters' rights, so now they're full citizens in the United States of America. These are the kinds of people that we need to know about. So while everybody is saying, oh man, I don't like Biden and Kamala Harris, they are not going to do anything for us, I bet you the very people who are telling you that what Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are not going to do, they had no idea that this man existed. And if you did know he existed, the second question is, why the hell did you get behind him to be the president of the United States of America? Seeing how he is actively working in favor of your brothers and your sisters and other people in the United States of America who are impoverished, disenfranchised, and otherwise would have been left to the wayside. So if you're not willing to do those things and research those things, again, you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. No one ever needs one more person to start running their mouths ignorantly without any information. So again, if you're a person who complains a lot and you're not doing anything, all you're doing is jacking up the ozone layer. And I'm gonna keep it all the way funky with you. You're just making more gas. You're just making more gas for the hole in the ozone layer. Unless you have a plan or a person to back or something of that nature. Otherwise, man, leave, follow, get the hell out the way. And that's a saying that I didn't invent, but it is apropos for this situation. We have zero time going forward to listen to complaints. We really don't. If you didn't know who that man is, you need to start doing research right now to replace Joe Biden and find him or someone who's doing the work he's doing. The Stacey Abrams of the world, the Val Demings of the world, the Lori Lightfoots of the world. You know, another thing, politicians. These are managers of government. They are not superheroes. They are not people who are going to save the day. You know what they are? They are managers of your local government, the local, state, and national government. That's all they are. They are designed, their job is designed to get you to do their bidding. I mean, get you to get them to do your bidding. So those people who say, Barack Obama didn't do anything for me, I will ask you this question again and again, and I will continue to ask you this question up until you give me an answer. What did you ask him for? In order to be disappointed in anything or anyone, you have to have asked for something. You have to have set a bar, and then they disappointed you by not coming through with whatever you asked for. Now, if you have a team of people with requests, with forms, and you attempted to force the United States government manager, aka President Obama, to do something, and he ignored all those requests and it granted requests for others, now me, you, and others have tons of ability. We have tons of documentation on why we should not support him, why we should hold him in reverence, and why we should be